Welcome everyone to the Manchester City Library and our Create and Tell demonstration video. This video is part of our summer reading program event, and anyone grades 3 to 6 who signed up will have a direction packet in their bag along with their Tales and Tales passport, which is going to guide us through our exploration of the continents this summer, as well as their stories and animals on them. If you are not in this age range or haven't signed up for summer reading, you are welcome to follow along. Just make sure that you gather the supplies and get permissions depending on what we're doing that week. I also want to remind everyone that the tell portion of our Create and Tell is going to take place on Fridays on Zoom. So look for the Create and Tell Science Afternoons on Fridays at the Manchester City Library website and sign up for that. And then we can all show what we have been working on this week. Okay, so let's get into this week's demonstration. Hello everyone, and welcome to week 3 of our Create and Tell demos. This week there is not a kit to pick up at the library, so we are going to be cooking, which means that you are going to need to gather those supplies yourself, and also make sure that you have some adult supervision because this will use the stove. Okay. But if you take your Tales and Tales passport from your Tales and Tales summer reading bag, we can turn and find that week 3 means that we are going to be visiting South America, the South American continent, and the country of Brazil this week. So I'm going to go ahead and put a sticker stamp to show that we have made it to South America and to Brazil. So Brazil is actually the largest country in South America, and it is the largest country to speak Portuguese as its official language, and the only country to speak Portuguese as an official language in the Americas at all. So our demonstration today, though, is going to be cooking, where we're going to make the Brazilian treat Brigadeiros. Remember, if you have your blue instruction set from your Tales and Tales reading bag, it's going to have the instructions there as well if you want to refer to that or read along as we do the video. Brigadeiros is a really popular confection throughout the country, especially for festive events and celebrations. So you usually make them at home, like we're going to do, but you can buy them from bakeries as well. So if you have gathered all of the ingredients given on your instruction list from your reading bag, we can go into the kitchen and start putting together these tasty treats. All right, everyone, welcome to the kitchen. So we have our measuring implements. We've got 1 teaspoon. We have got a 1/4 cup. We have our baking cocoa. We have our 14 ounces of condensed sweet milk. We have some butter, butter knife, some vanilla extract, and then we've got some stirring and scraping implements, as well as our saucepan. Okay, so our first step is going to make sure that we have permission and also some adults to make sure that the stove use is going to be okay. Step number 1. Step number 2 is to take our butter. Okay, so on our sheet, it says that we are supposed to take 1 tablespoon of butter. I actually think it is supposed to be 3 tablespoons of butter. So I'm going to try it with 3 and we'll see how that works. So in either case, to find out the tablespoon of butter, most butter is going to have the tablespoon markings on the side here. So you can just count 1, 2, 3, and we know that's where we're going to cut it off with our butter knife and put it into our saucepan. So what we're going to do is we are going to melt this butter. And we're going to do that on a medium heat. All right, so we're going to melt this butter. So once our butter has melted, we are going to take the 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk, and mine is just 14 ounces in the can. And we are going to add that. Oh, when they say condensed, they're serious. So in condensed, basically means it's something that has been reduced to take up less space. Oftentimes, that means that something has been like boiled down or evaporated off. I'm not actually sure how sweetened condensed milk gets condensed, but that's kind of a general idea. All right, I think that's got most of it. Okay, we're also going to add our cocoa powder. That's what we need, the 1/4 cup. And we are going to scoop the cocoa powder with our 1/4 cup. Kind of gently shake it so that it's topped off and add it to our mix. Okay, and then we're also going to take our vanilla, which is open, and our teaspoon. And we are going to add 1 teaspoon of our vanilla to everything as well. And then we are going to stir. All right, guys, so mine is starting to bubble, so I can show you. So, there it is. All right, so that's starting to bubble, so we are going to turn this to a low heat. All right, so we're going to turn that to a low heat, and it's important to continue stirring. I know it's a lot of stirring, but we have to continue stirring until it makes kind of like a peanut butter kind of texture. So it should be pretty smooth, but it's also going to be kind of stick together. All right. Okay, guys, so I think that my Brigadeiro batter is getting pretty close to that consistency. So I'm gonna kind of show you guys. All right. So if we see, it's kind of what we're getting. So once the consistency is right, like a peanut butter, we're going to turn off the heat of our stove. And we are going to get a pan. Okay, so we are going to get a pan. The suggestion is 8 by 8, but anything that is going to allow us to sort of like smooth out the chocolate a bit. And we're not going to leave it there, so it doesn't need to be like the most beautiful pan or anything like that. So what else we're going to do is we're going to take some of our leftover butter, and we are going to butter the pan. So take the pan and just sort of like run your butter, pretend like it's like a glue stick, right? And you just want to get butter on the pan. And this is going to help us remove the chocolate once we put the chocolate in here. So it's going to make it nice and slippery when we take it out. Okay, so we're going to take the pan and we are going to pour our chocolate into it, or at least scoop the chocolate into it, because it's a lot firmer now. Okay, and you might want to help with this. Remember, it's okay to ask for help at any step in the process. If you're not sure, it's better to ask for help than to find out that you needed it later on. Okay, so I think I can scrape a little bit more out of that pan, but let me show you what I've got so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to sort of smooth the chocolate around the pan so it's evenly distributed. And when we are all done, we are going to actually put this pan into the fridge. We're going to let it sit there for 2 to 3 hours so that the chocolate will firm up and not be like as melty and goopy when we scoop it and shape it into balls. So you can also leave it overnight if you're not sure. Okay, so go ahead. You might want to take saran wrap, or if your thing has a lid, go ahead and do that and then stick it in your fridge. And we will meet back here 2 to 3 hours later to see if our chocolate is ready to be shaped into Brigadeiros. All right, guys, see you then. All right, guys, welcome back. So I have retrieved our Brigadeiros from the fridge. Let's see. So they did harden up a little bit. I don't know if it's as firm. It's still kind of fudgy. But I only put it in for about not quite 3 hours, and it is pretty warm today. I'm gonna go ahead and try and make some of shape the Brigadeiros with this. If we had more time, I probably would leave it in a little bit longer, or maybe even overnight. So you guys can go ahead and do that if you have too much trouble. I'm gonna go ahead and try and start with this. So make sure you wash your hands. Obviously, you want to wash your hands anytime that you are working with food, but we are going to be shaping these, so you want to make doubly sure your hands are clean. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to scoop up some of this nice fudgy chocolate, going to just roll it into a ball. Yeah, that it's gonna sort of fit in your palm. And see, now mine is still a little bit warm, which is why it's kind of getting on my hands. If it was a little colder and a little firmer, then it wouldn't be this messy. But like I said, we're just gonna roll with it. And like I said, so the traditional topping of this is actually the chocolate sprinkles. I really like the nonpareils. So these are the little round multicolored sprinkles. And so I'm gonna put some of my Brigadeiros covered in those. Whoop. which is beautiful. Basically, you're just going to continue to scoop the Brigadeiros, the chocolate, out of your refrigerated pan, and you're just going to shake them and then put them on your plate until you run out of chocolate. So you can put whatever kind of toppings you want on these. If you want to put nuts, you can put nuts. Coconut, if you want to put more chocolate, if you want chocolate chips on your chocolate Brigadeiros, that's also fine. Just experiment, find out what tastes best to you. All right, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed our journey into delicious chocolatey Brazilian confectionery and enjoyed this little peek at the South American continent. Remember that if you are doing the Tales and Tales summer reading program, that you need to keep recording your reading minutes every week to keep up and make sure that you get the most of all of your reading points to go towards your badges, your raffle tickets, and other prizes. All right, I hope so much to see you guys next week, where we are going to be heading further south down to the cold continent of Antarctica. All right, hope to see you guys there. Bye!